right, so the fact that the expatriates, professionals, including casual workers, are exiting the UK is no longer something that is new to most immigrants in the UK and those wishing to move to the UK, especially after the Brexit movement. When the United Kingdom departed from the EU, people started living in their numbers. And recently, it is sad that most people who moved to the UK in the last 2 years, some of them barely spend more than 1 year in the UK. They would move to either Canada or Australia. So today I'll be sharing with you over 15 reasons why you shouldn't move to the UK. Or it could be some of the disadvantages of moving to the UK. In case you are considering to relocate to the UK, you need to understand all this. Meanwhile, those of you, if you are a British person watching this content, you are most welcome. I'll be leaving my PayPal account in my, I think I would pin it so that you can, do me some transfer. I really need that because I am doing what you guys expect me to do right now. Yes, so many of you do not want immigrants, people like us. So this is what I'm going to be doing now to scare them away from coming to the UK. Please do where to send me something. I would really appreciate that. This is my first time asking people for something. Yes. All right. Do not get me twisted, please. The UK is a beautiful place to live. Yes, it has a high standard of living. Generally, it is well known. And the United Kingdom is a home to most prestigious universities in Europe precisely. So it's not entirely a bad place to live. There are loads of good things about moving to the UK, living, studying, and working in the UK, just like most of us who are immigrants have enjoyed loads of this. Meanwhile, before I proceed to sharing these oddities, the negative side about living in the UK with you, my name is Chinyere Ojike. You are most welcome to my channel. Yes, feel free to subscribe, like this video, share, and keep coming back for more. Come on, let's go on with it. Number one, it's as if that high number of international students have been restricted from coming to study in the UK, especially those coming to do master's program or those coming to do a degree program. Yes, this is particularly because following the immigration rules, that if your course will be starting from January 1st or after January 1st, 2021, that your partner, your children, your spouse, that's your dependents, they should be able to apply to join you if only your course is a PhD program, doctoral profession, or a research program that would be lasting within 9 months or something more than 9 months. These are the only people allowed to come in to study in the UK. So it's a way of saying, no, we don't want more of international students, because high number of international students, they come in to do their masters and degrees, as the case may be, and they mostly come in with their families. Yes. Secondly, the speculation that getting your indefinite leave to remain in the UK is no longer, you will no longer get it after a period of 5 years, after living in the UK for a period of 5 years, that it has been extended to a period of 8 years. It seemed to be a false speculation. Yes, it trended in the last 1-2 months ago. But regarding the response from the UK Parliament, it's as if, the petition people signed against that was unacceptable. I'm going to put it here for you to see, because they believe that there was nothing like that. It was a mere speculation. So they still maintain that the duration you stay in the UK for you to get your ILR is a period of 5 years on a skilled worker visa. 3 years. High competitive job markets in the UK. It might take a fresh graduate a period of 3 years or more to find a stable job. Sometimes it is difficult, especially if you are a foreigner. It is all a hassle for you finding that professional job, on the course you studied. It is really difficult, especially if you are not a native English speaker, you don't have British passport. There is a kind of subtle racism, yes, when it comes to employment. in this very country. I must tell you, I'm also a UK graduate. I have my experience, and a lot of people would share their experiences. So it's a whole lot finding a professional job. Yes, they would want somebody who has experience, and when you've just graduated from school. And the factors that I've mentioned so far play a lot of role in getting you into the job market. There are other jobs you could, get your hands on, but not that particular stuff, that particular course you graduated on. And if you are coming in from outside of the UK as a professional, most often it can be very difficult getting back to the job you were doing back home abroad. For instance, if you were a banker in your home country, coming down to the UK, getting a banking job, it's usually very difficult for you to start on. Unless you are a healthcare professional, maybe a doctor, nurse, or an engineer. Even if you are an engineer, they would want you to have had experience. Even at that, they would consider theirs, their own person, over you. So it's a whole lot for you to settle down. Get that your dream job in the UK. Long waiting time for health services. Have you ever been to the hospital, to your GP lately? In fact, seeing your GP one-on-one can be a tug of war. And getting a hospital appointment, I have an appointment. This appointment was, I got a letter for this appointment. That was in June, sometime in June. My appointment was supposed to be in November 24th. They shifted it again till December. Today is September 22nd. Imagine. So but this is something in my home country. I would easily go to the hospital. Even if I am to make an appointment, it wouldn't be up to 1 week. Hence, I am paying my money. Though NHS is somehow free, like they claim, even though that taxpayers' money are being used. Yes, because it's not entirely free. Those of you who are students, you pay head surcharge, isn't it? And if your job, you are a skilled worker in the UK and your job is not listed in the UK shortage occupation list, especially the healthcare, health and social care, honestly, you are required to pay head surcharge. So don't jump up and say UK has a free healthcare services to everybody. NHS is free. It is not. You pay tax, you pay NI. Yes, this is true. And going to the emergency, sometimes the emergency is no longer emergency because you have to wait for almost 1 hour. Urgent care is the worst. You could see sometimes I get scared going to the hospital. And this is what usually makes people to stick to getting self-medication, treating themselves at home. Yes, rather than going to sit at the urgent care for 3-4 hours before it gets to their turn. It's sad. 5, the weather can be dreadful at times. The 4 seasons here is something that could happen in one day. Currently, it's sunny outside, but I've just run my heater for 1 hour, 30 minutes to warm up the house. Yes, this is September. It goes sunny, it goes cold, it rains. Oh my God, if you are new here, you could barely adapt to the cold weather. Yeah, it definitely would be strange to you getting used to it. But it's difficult to get used to it. Even the natives or the locals, they don't get used to their weather. Some of them like to travel during winter time, get their holidays and go to the countries where it is warm. And suddenly, this summer is so short and can be miserable at times because there is never a steady sunshine or hot weather. So if you are looking for some sunshine, you might want to avoid the UK. I have my vitamin D here. I take it every day, especially when it is not, or when I didn't go out in the sun. Generally, UK's weather can be so unpredictable and unfriendly. High cost of living. The cost of living in the UK is generally high compared to living in other countries. Although higher salaries can offer a comfortable lifestyle for some expats or professionals in the UK, but then the cost of living crisis is absolutely high because a lot of people they are struggling to make ends meet in the UK. It is not something hidden. Almost every aspect of bills in the UK has skyrocketed. The cost of paying energy bills, like this, the cost of feeding, oh my God, house rent, that's accommodation. Each time you want to renew your contract, the landlords, they increase the amount of rent you previously paid for the last year. So it's really something disturbing because a lot of people are currently struggling to make ends meet in the UK. Strict visa requirements and delays in visa processing. I mean, cost of paying or renewing your visas, whether within or you are applying for a fresh visa from outside of the UK, it's something that the government has increased lately. And the price for head surcharge has also been increased, So I'll be leaving a screenshot on the prices of visas if you are applying for a period of 2 years within or outside of the UK. These are the current prices you are expected to pay when applying for a visa. Frequent travel delays. I mean, this is no longer the UK that I used to know in the past. It is really strange these days because the delays are so rampant. Trains, buses, not exempted. Today, I'll be starting work at 10 p.m. My bus right at the front of my house. If you check Google, it would say 8:37. Usually I would be at the bus stop at 8:30. Unfortunately, this bus would never come until 8:45. It has happened 5 times or more. And this is cold weather approaching, so I would have to go stand at the bus. Usually, at the bus stop, usually I would go there at 8:30 in case it comes at that 8:37. But it would never show up until 8:45. On the internet, it keeps showing 8:37. That is strange. Also, if you are traveling from your city to a different city, don't be surprised that getting to the train station, it's either the train is cancelled or is delayed. This is unlike, the UK. This is totally what has not been obtainable in the UK of the past. The present day is something else. Brexit politics also affect traveling. Before now, a British passport holder can travel to over or about 190 countries of the world without visa. But now you need to apply for a visa or even on arrival to enter about 30 different countries, especially the European countries around, because the UK has departed from the EU. And we that are immigrants in the UK flying back to our countries, especially Nigeria now, flying Air France, KLM requires you to get a transit visa. Before now, it wasn't like that. I had traveled through Netherlands, France, that's Paris. Nobody asked me for a visa, transit visa. But now for me to book a flight, KLM, Air France, I need a transit visa. This is the impact, the negative impact of the Brexit politics to we immigrants that do not have the British passport. Even the British nationals, I think they too would, or maybe needing visas to enter all these European countries around because of this Brexit palaver. Next, there is no enough work balance life in the UK. The average person in the UK work for the average of 37 to 40 hours in a week. And they come to think of it, sometimes before you get to your workplace, it takes about 2 hours. I have seen people who spend more than 2 hours getting to their workplace. Mine is currently 1 hour 30 minutes because I have told you, yes, I leave my house 8:30 to start a shift at 10 o'clock. Same goes to a lot of people in the UK. Coming home, childcare is a different issue, especially if you are working that long hour. You have a family. Even if you don't have a family, it has always been work, home. No leisures, to be honest. You barely could find time to relax, to attend parties, occasions, because your friend might be having a party. Is that day you are on shift. You wouldn't be able to attend. So stress, since I came to the UK, my back has been hurting me, my waist has been hurting me. This has not been happening in the past. Because of stress, you shop, you cook, you clean, because you cannot afford the services of domestic staff to also help you out in your house, just like you would be able to afford the services of domestic staff in your home country. It is not like that in the UK. Everything is being done by you or you and your partner. Yes. Next is the expensive housing. Buying a house in the UK is very expensive, especially in the southern part of the UK. In the north of England, am I saying the southern part of the UK? The south of England, when you talk about Manchester area, London, and elsewhere around the UK. But the north of England, cost of buying a house, it's relatively cheaper, and cost of renting is also cheaper compared to other places. But even here in the north of England, every year the landlords or house owners, they increase their rent. I've shared my experience in one of the videos. Whenever you want to renew your contracts, they keep increasing it. It's something that is very common here. And first time looking for an accommodation is usually difficult. Finding one, a lot of queries, a lot of stress finding an accommodation. And when you finally find one, it is not as comfortable, especially sizable. I mean, the sizes of the rooms are not something compared to what we used to have or what you may have in your home country. It is relatively small, yes, but the outside spaces are big and useless because residents don't normally use that outside garden space unless during the summertime. And summertime, the men UK natives, they are running away from the sunshine. Next point, it is difficult to set up a bank account in the UK. There are lots of requirements, proof of address, employment letter, BRP, reference. If I can't name, I think I've made a video on that. You might want to check that out. Requirement to open a bank account in the UK. It's a whole lot, and changing your local currency in the UK, it's a no-no. So endeavor to change your local currency in your home country before moving into the UK. Next, there are almost 40 accents, different dialects in the UK. That might surprise you. They all speak English, but their English, their slangs, colloquial English expression varies. 2 days ago, I went for an exam. The man who came to carry out an induction, yeah, he was talking to me. I was just looking, in fact, I was just looking at this man straight in the eyes. I looked at his mouth. His mouth is just, I mean, God, after creating him, God used the pen and pierced the man, when I'm so small, and he was talking with that full stop, no punctuation. I say, this man, are you actually talking to me or you're speaking to someone else? Hey, I was just waiting for him to say, yes, you can pass that door to walk into the exam and sit on that computer. And that was what he finally did. I said, thank you very much. I said, hey! They shouldn't bring this kind of person to talk to strangers or immigrants, to be honest. I have lived in the UK. This is my 5th year in total. But I still find it difficult to digest what a lot of them are saying. Liverpool, they have their Liverpoolian accents. Manchester, in Manchester area, if they want to ask you if you want a tea, if you want a cup of tea, they would ask you, would you like a brew? You know? But here in the north of Middlesbrough area, do you care for a cuppa? That's, do you want a cup of tea? Different slangs, different accents. Some of them, they stretch it. Oh my God. You will be wondering if it is the same English you were told that British people are native English speakers. If there is something else, a different language they speak. So do not be surprised when you start hearing them take accents. Just ask them to repeat themselves. It is allowed, because they would also ask you to repeat yourself when you talk. Yes, don't be shy. Next point, making friends in the UK can be somewhat hard because the UK is a kind of individualistic society. Everybody mind your business, to your tent, oh Israel. You know, people are on their own. I stopped saying hi to my neighbor. It is hard for me because that wasn't me. No matter what you do to me, I can never stop saying hi to you. But I had to stop because no point wasting my saliva. I will still come up with a video about my encounter with my neighbor. But my other neighbor on the far side would always smile and I would say hi and he would respond. Life in the UK is mind your business. People like their space. You know, don't be, I mean, it's entirely different from what we used to have back home. Now, to stay comfortably in the UK, not entirely, less stressful, you need a car to get around to most places, especially in the countryside, your workplace, shopping, and all what have you. If not, you're gonna be stressed out or stressing out just like myself. Every day I pray to God for a night time to come. Whenever I finish and get into bed, I've, cultivated the habit of going to bed at least 10 p.m. My son goes to bed. Immediately we finish our prayers at 9 o'clock. So once I lay my back on my bed, I usually say, thank you, Jesus, for creating something that is called night time. I've always said that because you wouldn't stop walking, running errands, doing things in the UK. But a car would definitely alleviate some of all this stress of, yes, because if you don't have a car, for instance, if I am to drive to my workplace, it takes just 22 minutes to get to my workplace. But on a bus, I enter 2 different buses. a train to get to work. You know what that means? I spend 1 hour 30 minutes, but it's something I would drive down for just a period of 22 minutes. Going shopping will take you like 45 minutes, but if you don't have a car, you will spend about 2 hours because you have to jump the bus, come down, wait for the bus. And then the code, notwithstanding, xenophobia, racism, classism are stuff that are very common, very prevalent in the UK. Yes, not all the British people like the concept of Britain being a multicultural society, accepting everyone from every background. A lot of them are, Ray, yes, depicted by my neighbor here. We even went to the police. That is to tell you how serious my encounter with them. I will still share the story, but some of them are absolutely good, welcoming, friendly, nice. Karen, you have seen her. She's lovely, so you have to be careful, especially when you open your mouth, what you share, what you talk. This might put you off living in the UK. Yes, because the gesture of hiya, the smiling look they give you is entirely different from what they think about you, from how they react to you. It's something very saddening. Yes, it's terrible. All right, guys, I think this is where I would draw the curtain for this content. Meanwhile, the UK, it's a beautiful place to live. There are fantastic things about the UK that I've stated in the past. I think so. I may have made a video about reasons to move to the UK. Look up for that video and watch it. Yes, I'm also enjoying it, staying in the UK, apart from the stressful lifestyle here. Okay, and the high cost of living. But you spend where you live. Yes, you make money here, you spend here. This is my ideology about earning and spending. All right, subscribe to my channel, like this video, and please remember to send me something via my PayPal account if you are a British person watching this. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Bye.